It's another week of trying to stay alive in our survivor pools.
Survivor, man, that's like the beer bong of the contest.
We got knocked out of Survivor in week 1.
I think it's in my rules of Survivor. I think no Jaguars.
Every week, you can be done.
Survive and advance with us right now on BetQL Daily, presented by BetMGM.
We talk Survivor and what we would do, Sam. It's interesting because the Jets were, like I mentioned, were taken by most of the people that are still alive. There are a few people that landed on Seattle that would still have the Jets available, but I view the Jets as being one of the better options of the week. That number is past 7.5. And I do agree with what you were saying about the others in this range at 7.5. With Houston, that number's down now to 6.5 due to some of the injuries going on with that Texans offense, a number of them, both in the backfield and on the outside with Tank Dell, and it's a divisional matchup. And Jacksonville won there last year, besides the fact that the Texans haven't looked as impressive many thought they would be this season. And then you have a Chiefs-Chargers matchup. I keep going. I keep thinking about Harbaugh. This is his first game against Mahomes in this division. Like, he's going to have something for him. And it sounds like Herbert is going to be out there. It's just big question, though, the status of that offensive line. Taking the points, totally understand it. Pat Mahomes, laying 7.5? Nope. I'm betting on Pat Mahomes when it's inside of a field goal. I'm not betting on Pat Mahomes when I have to win by 8, win by double digits, somewhere in that range. So I agree with that line of thinking on avoiding both KC and Houston.
I love the Lions look. I wouldn't have even thought about it. Beef brought this up in the last segment because you can't pick, well, I shouldn't say you can't. You shouldn't pick the Tennessee-Miami game. But there is some strategy, and we've seen this happen in the Survivor League in Vegas over the years, where when you get down to the final 4 or the final 8, whatever the small number might be in the single digits, you see some people strategize and take that Monday night favorite in a chance that you get a lot of people knocked out on either Thursday or Sunday, and then you're basically free rolling on the Monday. So in this league, what's the prize in the Rich People League that you're running?
It's 46 something. It's almost 50K.
So imagine if you're the only person left and you have the Lions and there's $46,000 on the line. You could come in hot and put a substantial amount of money on Seattle money line and you can't lose. That is a strategy. I don't know if Beef accidentally fell into that, but that's a pretty good idea.
No, I think that's exactly what it's thinking. Let's say
you got, all right, yeah. So there's 7 left in the pool, you said?
Yes, 7.
So if 6 people go out on Sunday and you're holding Lions in Survivor, you control everything. Whether you get knocked out or not, you have the ability to make money no matter what, because now if the Lions lose, you have 10,000 on Seattle at a plus price and you are up no matter what.
Would you go to San Francisco this week?
It's really hard to imagine them losing at home to New England. It really is, because the Patriots showed us on Thursday, a week ago, their offensive line is in shambles, and they were down 2 starters last week. Obviously, you pay attention to the injury report, see who's in, see who's out, who's trending up and down. When they put in Drake May in the fourth quarter, I thought, ooh, they were getting creamed all game. Jacoby Brissett was taking hit after hit after hit. And they decided, you know what would be a great time to put in our rookie quarterback? When our offensive line can't block. That told me a lot about the coaching staff. And that is sort of a really dumb idea to drop the future of the franchise in behind a mangled offensive line. Their offense is really bad. I think Chris said it best, Treasy. 21's probably enough. If San Francisco can get to 21 points, mind you, without McCaffrey and Debo and maybe Kittle, they get to 21, that's probably enough. I don't think New England's going to win 21-17 or 24-20. If New England's going to win, it's 17-13. That's sort of how it feels as I talk about it out loud.
I would want to go with the Jets, but I know most people alive don't have the Jets. But I think that's a pretty good spot. Got the Broncos off the big road win, Bo Nix's first win, and now you're going to visit the Jets. That's a much tougher matchup. Remember that Bucs defense is missing a lot of guys due to injury, and the Jets are healthy, and the Jets have a better defense, and the Jets are at home, and they have extra rest. I think that's a good spot. Also knowing that most people are going to be on San Francisco. If I had them available, I'd go Jets, but I can't argue taking San Francisco. I know most people are going to be thinking there's no way the Niners lose 3 in a row. Keep in mind, when they had a lot of injuries in the middle of last season, they lost 3 in a row.
I can tell you this, and you're going to laugh and say that I'm stupid, and that's okay, because that's your opinion, and you would be wrong. The sharpest guys I know laid 274 Chicago. They laid 1.5. They laid 2. They laid 2.5. I'm not saying you should bet Chicago a lot in Survivor, but if you're in a pool with more than 7 people, I'm not going to say I'd be stunned if the Bears lost, but this is maybe the best spot of Chicago's season. You're back at home against the bottom 5 roster in the NFL. Joe, just close your eyes and think about this. You got a Chicago defense that's top 5 in the NFL. Top 5 right now. Facing an offense without Cooper Kupp, without Puka Nacua, and down 3 starting offensive linemen. Matthew Stafford is going to get absolutely clobbered in this game. The hesitation for most people on Chicago is not the talent on defense or maybe the quarterback. It's the organization. It's the general manager. It's the coach. The Bears have good players. The Bears are not a bad team. But the hardest part for people to do on Chicago, and this will happen until they get rid of Matt Eberflus, which feels inevitable, is bet their money on Chicago. But again, I repeat, the sharpest guys that I know came in and laid 1.5, 2, and 2.5, and now you're saying Chicago 3. I'm not saying lay 3. I'm saying that is not a bad look in Survivor. And you know me, I hate the Bears. I don't even like them. This is a great spot for them. The NFL is so weird. Why can't Kansas City lose to the Chargers? Why can't Houston lose to Jacksonville? Those are games where you have spreads right around 7. Houston has 2 running backs down. Tank Dell didn't practice. You've got Kansas City that's won 3 games by a combined, 9 points or something like that. Why can't one of those teams lose? We have learned to expect the unexpected in the NFL, guys.
I mean, probably both of those teams are going to lose, and we'll be on one of them. So, I mean, like, we were talking about it last night, and I was like, I can't wait to go on tomorrow and tell Joe that I'm like really thinking about going Texans since they're playing the Jaguars, and just see how his head explodes when the Jaguars get in the mix.
Joe said no Jags. Isn't that the rule, Joe?
Either
no
side.
Jags.
Either side, right?
They're off. They're off. It grinds my gears. People are, well, you got to pick them sometime. No, you don't. Even if you're doing circa and you have to do 20 picks, that means you're not picking 12 teams in the NFL. You don't have to pick everyone. Avoid Jacksonville Jaguars at all costs. We tried to tell GRP. That's how he lost his first entry in a Jaguars game. So just stay far, far away. All right, so I agree with what Sam had to say about KC and Houston. I would stay away from those games. Not that you're really worried about what I think. You already took the Jets. That would actually be a pick I like. Yeah. Bo Nix coming off the big road win, first one in his career. Jets at home favored by 7.5. So the biggest point spread of the week, the beat up 49ers laying 10.5 against New England. Last Thursday, it looked like, this is the real Patriots team that we've been waiting on. So now, does the strategy change? You're down to 7. Are you going to be more risk averse? Are you thinking biggest favorite on the board? I know maybe you don't want to throw it out there right now exactly what you're doing, but does your strategy change? How do you feel about San Francisco? Chirizi, start with you.
Yeah, I don't mind throwing out the strategy because, I mean, I think anyone who's watching this and is still in the pool looks at us and goes, wow, these guys are idiots. So I'm just going to go against whatever they do. So I'm not really. You're correct. I mean, it's not wrong. Not wrong. But we were talking about this yesterday at the game where the 49ers are in the short list of teams for this week. And for the reason that that I said earlier is like, I don't know how even though the Niners are banged up, I don't know how the Patriots score a bunch of points against the Niners. So it's not going to be a huge hill for the Niners to overcome scoring against a Patriots team, scoring what, like, if they score 21, is there any doubt that they win that game?
Not a lot. If they score 21, that's probably enough. We might look back, Chirizi and Beef, we might look back week number 1 when we get to December and when Santa's coming down our chimneys, we might look back and go, how the hell did the Patriots beat the Bengals? We might have that conversation, but Beef, that's the NFL. You just go, wow, how did that happen? And any given Sunday sometimes.
Yeah, Sam. I mean, that's what I was thinking the entire time when the Patriots were beating the Bengals, because you guys gave the advice for the entire week. Do not get on the Bengals for week 1. And I told Chirizi, I reversed this philosophy on your pool, Joe, especially for you call it the rich person's pool. I assume most of the people who are in that pool are listening. So they're going to follow your advice.
Yeah.
So I told Chirizi, we go the other way, we'll zag, and not a lot of people will be on the Bengals. And we looked at the percentage. It was only 34%. I was like, we did it. We did a good job here. We didn't, because usually you want the teams a higher percentage than that to get that equity in the spot. And I'm like, we did it right. And then they lost. They got clobbered on opening day by the Patriots. So I'm an idiot, even though I thought I was smart.